I know I'm like acting my year, not being too tech savvy with this. Right. Okay. So I've been given 1 hour by Prof. Adil, but I think we could probably, finish this in a half an hour unless you have lots of questions to ask, which I hope you do. I would like to start with Assalamualaikum everybody and good afternoon, and thank you for being here. This actually stems from, when I first brought this up to Prof. Jamal, I was soon to be already ex-mantan dekan, is it? Prof. Jamal and Prof. Adil. And they say, I was actually planning to just do it at, to people around me and who knows me. And then we thought, and they also suggested the idea, why don't we, announce this and do this as a Kulliyyah-wide activity where lots more of us can actually join this program. And it actually started. I've been involved in mobility program actually from 2017 when I first came to when I went to Montreal. Following like what Prof. Aslam was suggesting, you actually have some research grant, and then part of it is actually presenting your paper on an international platform, and then it was actually in the US. But then I've got some. We were searching for an anechoic chamber in Malaysia at that time, which was non-existent. We thought. And nanti it's a long story. Actually, we do have 2 in Malaysia. Yeah, so for those who are interested, then you can actually come to me. But then we didn't know then, so we went there, and then so that was like my first experience with mobility, staff mobility program, and that was based on the research grant that I have. And then again, I did another. I went to another one, US in 2024. So bagi macam ni. 2024. Oh, okay, yeah. 2024 to the US. Again, this is actually based on some research grant that I had. And we actually utilize research money for this. Of course, with permission, yeah, write that in your proposal, and that's no problem. This mobility program for the whole Kulliyyah actually stems from my Bidan Terjun mobility visit last year. This year, 2025 to Uzbekistan, which was actually organized by Dr. Abdul Rahim, who is from Uzbek, who's living here for the past, I think, 20 years already in Malaysia. But he does this every year. Apparently, he has been doing this for the past 9 or 12 years. Don't quote me on that, yeah. But then he organized this, and then we have sort of like and joining this program, I kind of like, you have that light bulb moment and say, aha, why not? Eastern can help organize this. We have lots of international colleagues here, which can play host to their country. And we can actually, go on and do, of course, one is, Adil was saying, Myra points, which are important for personal and also the institution growth. But also other things that you get, because eventually, the Quran also says, I'm sure for those of you who knows the Quran more than I do, but memang kita digalakkan to travel, because there's plenty of things that we can actually get that you can't really, you can't get from just watching the YouTube from the video, which my husband always says, what is so good about traveling? You can just watch everything through the YouTube. Trust me, it's not the same, and I'm sure for those of you who like to travel, it's not the same. And there's one thing that I think it's not just for people in the in education, in our fraternity, but everybody. Every industry and every professions. I think there's nothing better than to have lots and lots of contacts. Connection is very, very important, and for us to actually be better than good is to have more international collaboration, not just macam people won't see kita ni just jago kampung, you know. We actually have to have collaboration with all the big labs and institutes out there, and it's not just a one-way thing. Kan kita je learn from them, they can actually learn something from us as well. Okay, so next is startup jalan ya. Should I hold up macam ni?
Using the arrow.
I'm using the arrow. Sorry, like I said, this is my first time using the Canva. You apa? Okay, all right. Okay, so let's just look at the technicality first. Before, maknanya we have to work smart. We want to go out. We want to, have we all have our objectives and all that. But let's look at what the criteria is for the Myra glossaries and Myra people to actually consider this as a mobility program. What point do we get? For Myra points, I think it's about 0.25, the ideal, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, it's quite substantial. It's quite a lot, yeah? So for us to be eligible for that, the program has to be minimum 7 days and maximum 3 months. And then everybody, be them permanent or contract staff, is eligible. But you must at least serve for 3 years. So the scope of visit, you have to sort of like visit your colleagues there. Lepas tu, or if you're invited to teach or to run labs or to any sort of teaching activities can be considered. If you're not interested or you don't want to bog by all the teaching and subsequently lepas tu set exam questions and whatnot, your interest is just in research, that can also be done. That means you come up with a project, or you come up with a future project. You don't even have to have projects that you want to run now. You have discussions on further future collaboration. And then if you have case studies, you have several things yang macam of interest to you, and you want to know whether or not that there's this there's other similar cases over there, then you can also do that. Mainly, I think if there is any transfer of knowledge incidences happening, there is actually a what you call it, disclaimer here. Bukan disclaimer lah, a point to watch here. I thought you put it down here just now. Oh, next. Right. No, sorry. I wanted to say here where if you go totally for conference, if you go totally for macam workshops or data collection, that is not considered mobility program, because that one you have to be under the Office of Deputy Rector, Academic and International. That means this is under pure teaching, pure academic matters. So maknanya if you were to just go for conferences and where you fill up the green form for just presenting, and it's not related to even if it's related to your research, tapi if you don't do these things where you do macam orang kata meetings and collaborative discussions and all that, that means if you just attend conferences, that is not eligible for it doesn't count as mobility program. Yeah, just to watch for that. So the documents that we actually need to fill up adalah the green form, borang hijau tu, the conference, workshop, activity and whatnot tu. And then you have to fill the application form, MSD's application form for overseas visit. There is one, kan? And then you have to fill up the JPA, borang keluar negara, which is a bit, it's a thick form, but basically it's an easy one to fill. Of course, everything has to have your head of department and your dean's green light approval. And then you have to have the invitation from the countries that we want to visit, plus all the institutions that, in a way, you have to have like an itinerary of what you want to do and all that. Actually, it's more complicated than that. Like, I mean, for a host, for somebody who wants to actually organize the trip, there's got to be macam minutes of meeting and then discussions with the other kuliah and all that. And ISEN is going to be responsible for that. So what you as individuals have to do would be to fill up these 3 forms and to have you have to have your head of department and your dean's approval. So these are the documents that you need. And as I said just now, and the timeline. We have to be careful with the timeline because all these have to be submitted at least 1 month before the actual trip. And subsequently, following that, we have to fill up a post-mobility report, you know. This has also to be submitted within a month of the program. So 1 month before and 1 month after. That's yes. The overseas trip solely for conferences, training, seminars, data collection, even sponsored by like I said just now, even kita kata research activity mainly can be counted as mobility program. But if you do not spell out that there's going to be collaborative meetings and discussions and whatnot, and you just go for conferences presenting your data and papers, that cannot be considered under mobility program. Yeah. So you need to actually we have to have all these names of what places that we want to go, you know, the contact person that we have to we're going to be meeting, and then in the report, the post-mobility report that has to be submitted 1 month after the program, you need to also include at least minimal 3 pieces of gambar, you know, 3 photographs of the whole description. You can also put more. In fact, they say pictures worth, you know, a picture is worth 1,000 words. So you just put at least 3, and then all other things and materials that you can actually compile together with your report. Yeah. So, but the main thing is your conclusion and sort of like what are the things that you actually get from this and what you want to do following this trip. That's basically, I mean, for it to be more meaningful, it's got to also do that. Although the minority, I mean, the minimum thing that they wanted are the ones that I listed here. So basically that's it. So what we wanted to do was to just macam but I'll just tell this experience real quick, and then later on I'll tell you what ISEN has prepared sort of together with Office of Adil Research and International Adil something lah. So we'll work together with his office. And then we'll see what and where you can actually, you know, if you want to join, if you're interested or you want to contribute. But let's just see what, you know, the ones that I had to. So actually, we we've forgotten to include the Montreal punya, my very first mobility experience. Because of the, you know, we're searching for the anechoic chamber, but the one that is prepared here is my most recent visit, which is to you start America dulu ya. This US visit in 2024. So we went to the initial meeting was in Albuquerque, but the thing about this is actually I was lucky. During that time and that place, there are like 4 seminars around there, you know, around Albuquerque and Scottsdale. So we could attend about 4 workshops, 4 seminars, you know, 4 meetings of like-minded people. And then so we sort of like, if you watch, if you see, it's about 700 kilometers from Albuquerque to Scottsdale. So we actually drove to Scottsdale, and the meeting was actually held. So this was the objective of the, you know, everything that was stated just now. So the issue I had then, because I usually have one very niche issue. And I wanted to chase that matter. So at that time, it was because of NIOSH and DOSH punya statement and regulation in Malaysia, which I do not agree. And then they sort of like say, oh, kami ikut je NIOSH US. So when linong with NIOSH US, so apparently they say, why don't you come to us and then we'll discuss this face to face, and then you get everything from the horse's mouth. So we did, and it was a very fruitful discussion. So these are the things that was the objective. So the conferences that we went to, so we met all the giants of the industries, and then we met the NIOSH people there. So apparently, US being US, like over and all that. So apparently we can't. Their ni is in Ohio, in up there in the north. But people can't just enter the office or enter the the setup, the whole setup too, very easily. So they were the one who suggested that why don't, because the whole gym bank is coming down to Scottsdale and Albuquerque at that time. So let's have a meeting there. So we're bypassing the red tapes that is set by the government then. So all these people that you see here are all the big names in NIOSH US. So it was a good and fruitful discussion. And then we had this all these other courses that we went to. I just want to highlight that, and being my age, yang kononnya dah ready to say, oh, you've done that, been there, done that, seen everything. I was so lucky. I sort of like bumped into this Professor Hideko, Heidi. We call her Heidi. So he was from, she is from Harvard, kan? She's from Harvard Medical School. So she was actually, she is a engineering lecturer in Harvard, and they're doing a research. They were doing collaboration research on the middle ear effusion. She's an engineer. She's working with a couple of ENTs and audiological physicians, and then she got fed up by rebuked from her colleagues saying, what do you know? You don't know things about, you're not a doctor. So what she did was, at the age of 38 or maybe 40, she went and did her medical degree and went on to become an ENT surgeon. And then she came back to the Harvard laboratory to continue her research, Very inspiring fella. And I hope some of you remember that, life is still there. Things doesn't stop at 55 or 60, So I always feel it's a shame to retire at 60 when you're on a upward trajectory, work till as long as you can. Yeah, so it's that as well. You meet people, you see interesting things. It's a very good experience. So one of the things that this was in Pennsylvania. He was supposed, because I am together with our UTM colleagues, engineering colleagues. We're coming up with this prototype on hearing protection that blocks noise and allows speech to go. Because most of the workers, they are provided with hearing protection to prevent noise-induced hearing loss when they work, when they're exposed to loud noise. But one of the problems is that they want to communicate when they work. So so that's why most of them will sort of like buka, or both, they either they don't wear or they just buka sebelah telinga. And unilateral noise-induced hearing loss is very, very common. In fact, noise-induced hearing loss is very common in Malaysia, but unilateral noise-induced hearing loss is also common. And one of it is because workers do not want to wear hearing protection devices that cannot allow them to communicate. So that's what I'm doing, prototype. It's still at the prototype level. It's not yet commercial. And Michael and Associates are considered our lawan tu apa? Our competitor. So, but they're very nice. We came to them. So it's all all this market ni apa semua. They are the ones who say, ganyang Michael, or Michael would say ganyang Ailin. But then when we meet, he even gave me his prototype. and say, why don't you try it out, and then maybe compare it with your prototype, and that's what we had. We had one gift from Michael. That means it's considered as research gift, and also an MOA with him, with his lab. Yeah. So these are the outcomes of this the mobility program that I went last year. So not bad for like and it's only like a short trip, about 2 weeks, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 2 weeks, because it was longer in Montreal last time. And okay, and the one that actually brought upon this idea to actually to have this lecture today is my most recent visit to Uzbekistan. This was actually a mobility program that is organized by Dr. Abdurrahim, like I said just now, from the engineering faculty, IIUM Gombak. So when I saw it, I was kind of saying, I've never been to Central Asia. I have nothing, the only engineering thing that I do is my prototype, which is like most of it is the engineering portion was taken care of by my engineering colleagues in UTM. But then apart from that, so I gave him a call and said, is it okay? Are there any medical programs or universities that you are going to? And then he said, no, it's okay. I can include that in. I can quickly call my colleagues, because this is my hometown anyway. I've got colleagues who are doctors. So that's what he did. He called up several friends, and it happens to be that the friend happened to be a rector and the dean of I think it was in state of Namangan and Tashkent. And there you go. So we have that. So I kill two birds at one stone. I get to go to Central Asia, which I've never been, and I can also, I get to profit by getting all these mobility points. So the objective that was scoring or was stated for this project was, again, international collaboration and then cultural exchanges, understanding, because apparently Uzbek is also a very or aspires to be a very macam kata modern Islamic country, and then idea exchanges. So the university that we went to, the institute that we went to was Namangan State University and Namangan State Technical University. Namangan is actually like a kampung. I'm sorry, Dr. Rahim, if you happen to be in the crowd. When I say kampung, is with no negative connotation at all. Yeah, but it's a very small town. So it's very one thing that strikes me about Uzbekistan is that they are very into hard sciences, physics, maths, physics, and apa lagi? Maths and physics. Maths, physics too are almost even the smallest university pun very, very strong maths and physics department. So it's and I think because they aspire to be this modern Islamic punya country, then I just muka-muka macam Jamal apa semua tu immediately came to mind, because you guys are kononnya the epitome of modern Islamic people. So I feel that Central Asia is the place to tap and go to, because their medical schools are, they're recovering, they're developing, they're huge, there's huge potential there, and they actually, and this is I'm not kidding, I'm not pulling your legs, but they actually think that it's better to go to Malaysia first before you go their children, contohnya, I dapat offer pergi Harvard or pergi, all the other better universities, But most of the parents there say, no, I want you to have a short stint in Malaysia first, because apparently that's where you learn to be good Muslims before I let you off to the Western, those evil Western countries. So there's a lot of potential here, which we can actually, like I said, tap, yeah. So we went to Namangan, State University, and then Fergana State University, and this International Islamic Academy of Uzbekistan, where apparently they hold the oldest copy of the Quran there. So really, it's beautiful. And then we went to Samarkand, and then Bukhara. So it's an amazing place. So and then following that, what we had was this Impulse Medical Institute. I actually passed this to you, kan, Adil. They wanted to actually they're wondering whether we can actually send lecturers who are interested or students who wants to do research there to their universities. Yeah, so there you go. Belum apa-apa lagi, we get already some positive feedbacks or interest from those people. So these are the connections. If any of you want to have a stint in Uzbek, especially basic sciences, because they are fairly new universities, please contact any of these, or maybe just go to my office or Adil's office. Yeah. So and dekat Uzbekistan tu, we were going to it's a yearly flower festival in Namangan. And then while we were just walking, those two, the ones at the center tu is Dr. Mazni. She is from, how many of you know that UIA has a tourist and some Kulliyyah of tourism and something. So she and the other lady next to her is from Al Bukhari University. So we already have some collaborative work that we want to do. But if for this project, now before I forget, maknanya nanti I want to say that Prof. Mazni will be the ones who will be handling the nitty-gritty logistics of the trip, because she's in tourism, so she has students doing it. So I mean, we're not going to be the ones who will tempati, get the rooms and all that, tak ada expertise and all that. So it's going to be done by the tourists, by the people from the tourist faculty. Yeah. So okay, I was back to this flower festival. So we were just walking around looking at things, and then I was like remarking on the, cembilu. So that is actually, they say, oh, a nice flower from Malaysia, and they put it in a nice pot and it looks lovely. Whereas dekat sini kita treat it as sweet and, like racun lah, potong lah, apa semua kan. So I was telling them about cembilu and how over in Malaysia it's actually a weed, and here they take it like an exotic flower. Right, so oh, you sempat datang Canada, right? Yeah, so just a short one, because I mentioned from to my staff, my officers tadi kata, oh, we forgot Canada, so they managed to ni. Tapi if you see the very right picture, that Mak Saleh looking guy next to me too. So this was following the visits from my visit to them. They came over and we actually collaborated on research on the chemical exposure, chemical-induced noise, chemical-induced hearing loss. Yeah? I wanted to actually detect early with some machines that they have. So there you go. It's hardly, it's about 30 minutes just to end with. These are the wonderful colleagues that I've actually approached. Dr. Faizal, Dr. Wat. I think I've not spoken directly to Dr. Wa'il. That was he actually responded very positively from the email that was given by my Ailin. But Dr. Faizal, Dr. Yahya, lovely Yahya, and then Dr. Azhar from Qatar, and Dr. Taufik from Indonesia. But these are the ones that have already given their that says yes, they are more than willing. In fact, they'll be honored to actually play host. But Faizal was very enthusiastic, and I can't wait to actually go to Libya. I mean, very conservative people like Arif was saying that Arif is saying that it's very dangerous, but I feel like, if Faizal says it's okay, then I'm going. So we this coming the most the coming trips will probably be Dr. Mazni, because Dr. Mazni is now a visiting lecturer in Korea, in Seoul University. So she's going to play host for the first sort of like macam this is where we are going to sort of like test the bed. Yeah, we're going to start first with this Korean trip, followed by I think it's going to be Dr. Faizal and Dr. Yahya first. which is going to be very, very soon. But any of you who knows, and not just international colleagues, but we've also had people from contacts and colleagues from Canada, UK, Turkey, Singapore, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Myanmar, and Brunei. That is in the pipeline, and hopefully we can get to go to all of these countries soon. Yeah, but to all of you who do have people or friends or family members over in countries where you want, where we can actually go to and have collaborative, experience and mobility related programs, and then please do contact us, and then we can actually help set things up, and we can all go there and spread our wings there. Yeah. So for all the I would be very much obliged if you can actually fill up the Eastern Mobility Program survey, which is this one here. Fill that up so that we can actually know what interests you, or what do you want to go, where do you want to go, and then or you can just call the traditional way and just call us or drop by our office. If you don't know, this is like next to the tempat buang sampah. Thanks, Jamal. And just go there, just drop by, and then just contact us if you need to. Yeah. So with that, thank you very much.
Thank you, Prof. Ailin, for the wonderful talk. So we now open for Q&A session. Maybe I can start with a question. I was thinking, Prof, instead of outbound staff mobility program, what do you think if we also organize an inbound staff mobility? But we must have some product that we can sell, because I think Kuantan is quite a lovely place compared to KL, and if we can package it into some staff mobility, a structured staff mobility program, and when we advertise for an inbound staff mobility program, probably 4 or 5 professors from multiple countries, then this can be our host for outbound program later, right? So here we are thinking about always outbound. We are hoping for somebody going to be host for us, probably, but we can, instead of hoping for a host university or host for staff mobility, we can start with be a host for inbound, and probably this external or international professor who come for our staff mobility can be our host later.
Okay, can I talk? Yeah. Actually, that one is that shouldn't be a problem at all. But we don't. And so the objective becomes different, Adil. That one is just to play host, and there's no such points for.
No Myra point. Yes.
For the Myra points. However, and then the other difficulty is that usually when you offer coming in, you have to sort of like sponsor something.
Yes.
Incur
costs.
So it would incur costs. Okay, not that this one doesn't incur costs. So, but unless I don't know. That's why I wanted to actually discuss with Dr. Adil sebelum ni kan. Tapi you do have that mobility apa you kata budget?
No, the Com Travel Grant. So basically the Com Travel Grant currently we give to those who go for local or international conferences. So probably for next year, those who go for the international conferences, we put another criteria. So they need to extend a bit the conferences. Maybe they find 1 or 2 places for a lab or a research institution for them to qualify for staff mobility. So they are eligible for the travel grant, not only for the conferences overseas, but for the staff mobility. So they got Myra for multiple point conferences, index proceeding, as well as staff mobility.
Okay. So back to that. That means it doesn't mean that when we say imbang needs apa nama budgets and incur costs, we going there doesn't incur costs. It does. However, for example lah, kalau I nak pergi Uzbek seorang-seorang or with me, it's probably going to take more. But we actually I spent uh, I kid you not, less than 5,000 ringgit for a 8-night stay. Plus flights and whatever, all makan, all meat, everything all included. So it's actually very affordable, and I think for a 7-day experience there, 8 nights or a day, 8 nights experience there, it's actually very, very worth it. Yeah.
Okay. Any more questions from the staff? I think Prof. Wail also here.
Yeah, Dr.
I think,
Wail, thank you for my officer was saying you're the most prompt, hardly 5 minutes that
Okay, of course,
email went out. I mean, it would be lovely to go to Egypt. I've not been to Egypt as well,
of course, I mean, any country in Africa. So inshallah, you can go, no problem at all. Thank you for this presentation. However, I mean, one point, Alhamdulillah, I got Rise, which is a mobility to go to Thailand, which is 5,000 ringgit. The main concern, I mean, in the guidelines, they asked for one publication. So I think it is 5,000. It is not big money if you go or you plan to go outside Asia. So for Thailand, it is okay because I mean it is neighbor, it is next door, so there is no problem in ticket and living expenses. And then we can publish paper. It is not a big deal. But if, for example, someone plan to go to North America or Africa, it is very expensive to have a flight ticket. It is almost more than 1,000 US dollar. So I don't know. I mean 5,000 is okay in neighbors country, but maybe you can think about maybe increase the money, maybe like 10K, or I mean something like this to get the maximum benefit, because I think going to Indonesia, Thailand, Vietnam, I mean it is okay, but the impact will not be much like impact collaboration with North America, Australia, New Zealand, something like this.
Thank you. Prof, you are referring to 5,000 or for the limit of the travel grant, or?
No, this is a mobility. This is a RISE, RISE grant.
Okay. Your grant, RISE grant.
This is, I think, it is another one, but I mean,
Yeah.
in the same domain, which I mean, the guidelines, we need, it is for 1 year. You can travel. You need to have collaboration with someone, and I mean, in the globe. You need to come with a specific outcome. One of the outcome is publish paper. So imagine if I publish in our journal, so I need 1,000 ringgit. Okay, so this comes up with, I mean, 4,000 for at least 5 nights or 5 days without travel days.
The RISE grant is issued by the RMC, but I think if we want to suggest for the quantum to be increased, probably the return must be increased as well. Probably Star Mobility plus MOU/MOA plus index proceeding. So it will be the amount will be commensurate to the money spent. Probably you add another contribution, MOU or MOA.
Yes, I mean,
Or
this is, I mean, one of the option. I mean, even, I mean, the visa for Thailand, it is like 400 ringgit for me. So I mean, the point is, if I will go to the nearby country like Indonesia, Vietnam, India, Thailand, it is okay. 5K is okay. But if I wanted to go to Africa, I mean, Central Asia, Latin America, whatever, to expand our networking and to get maximum benefit. So 5K, it is, I mean, it is very, very small amount. So this may be a barrier for
Yeah.
many to apply. I mean,
Yeah.
so I mean, Dr. Ailin went to USA. So how much the money? I mean, the ticket it is maybe 13K USA dollar. So which is
Okay, yeah.
maybe,
To
you
be
know what I
honest,
mean?
the US actually I spent about 20,000.
Okay, I mean, so
Yeah,
four
yeah.
grand. So
Yeah. So, but I know. I mean, what if we can complain away? Even with, I don't know, maybe things will be better because Prof Jamal now is the campus director. So probably he will push people up there to increase the quantum a bit. But again, I mean, the spirit of mobility program is not to rely too much on assistance from any. The if you have this wanderlust in your blood, and then you feel like you want to travel more, but then you want to sort of like cut costs in a bit, and then you want to go where it matters, and then you want to be sort of like safe because there's somebody who's playing host to you. So this is probably it. We can put everything, and then we can sort of like mix all these objectives into one beautiful pie, and then we can have this. Tapi Wail, to sort of like to sort of like macam just rely upon this mobility grant that Adil was talking about. I'm not really into that. I was just hoping that Adil's office can sort of like, instead of offering apa Adil, you have 10, is it 10?
No, it's 5,000
Yelah,
per
for
applicant.
10 people. For 10 people.
Actually, we don't have, kita tak ada lah limit on number of people.
Okay.
Yeah.
So instead of that, I was just thinking that maybe he can sort of like spread it, and then can sort of like macam subsidize the costs of the mobility program.
I mean, the point is, we don't aim for quantity. We should aim for quality. For example, if we have, 5K for 10 people, so we can make 10K for, 5 people. It is
5
something.
people. Yeah,
In this
yeah.
case, we will go to north. We will not go to the, I mean, the nearby, because, I mean, it's okay. For
Hey,
me,
don't
But
be don't
Prof,
have any.
actually we need to align with the university KPI as well, because in Myra they have strategized what are the KPI for each of the section. So even for each of the Kulliyyah, for the staff stand for research travel abroad, there's a minimum number. So probably we just aim for the minimum number set by the RMC for the staff mobility. So let's say they target only 2 staff per year for each Kulliyyah. So probably we cover 10,000 for each, so 20,000.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, this is just my, my reflection about the grant. For Thailand, it's okay. I mean, even I plan to stay for 2 weeks, and they will fund 1 week, and I will fund another week. It is not an issue. I mean, this is my advice, or my comment. If we maybe we make 1 grant or 2 grant per year for one colleague to go to the highly developed countries, so we can end up with MOA, which is rapid, with some university in US, in Canada, Australia. So this will make huge transfer. I mean, huge impact. Instead of going to Indonesia. So I visited Indonesia. So I think Malaysia is highly advanced, developed than Indonesia. So I can go to Indonesia, but I will not get much more benefit to the university from Indonesia. Thailand, it is okay. It has some genomics center, which I will go in Chiang Mai. They have omics. They have brain, brain cadavers or brain samples. And also, we plan to go to the Parkinson's disease centers, which is Bangkok, which is very famous. So anyway, I mean, with low budget, so maybe the colleague will go to the not well advanced country, or I mean the benefit or the impact will not too much expected from the grant. This is my point. I mean.
Point taken.
Yeah, it's okay. I think this is not the avenue to discuss about the budget and the travel grant. So it's just to raise awareness about the staff mobility and how to navigate to get the meet the requirement for staff mobility and etc. So I think it's about already 3:50. So
I want to chip in
yeah,
something.
Prof.
I think just now
Okay.
we discussed a lot with regard to budget and everything. But if you ask me, when we apply for research, we apply for a very solid research, not just for that particular opening of grant. Sometimes when FRGS open example, we focus on that particular moment. We don't think about the product of that FRGS can become PRGS, can even become a top-down grant or can be external grant. So my point, like Wael is doing, for example, he's passionate in neuroscience. So it is not, the application is not based on the grant offered by government or any grant, but because of that, the topic that he is interested in. So many of us have some interest. So pursue that interest and we can further expand. So when we obtain the grant, consider, just now I think at the opening remark, Ailin mentioned, you have to be included in the grant. You have that intention. You want to go global. You want to get more collaboration outside. So put that in that perspective. And then, of course, sometimes in certain grant, you can't go beyond, but you don't plan based on grant. You plan on your idea. So maybe the first phase of your research, your idea, your passion is using FRGS. The next phase, you go TRGS or LRGS if there's opening for that. So you keep on adding up. So eventually, if you get enough authority or enough contact or enough people from outside, you can now become international kind of collaboration. This is where immediately it become very natural for you to go abroad. If we now focus on budget that we have at the moment, we can't go far. So expand your research so that your research becomes something that you really have passion about it. Example, when I involved with my pair research with Imperial College, for example, my involvement is very, very accidental. Someone in UPM collaborate with Imperial College. They need one epidemiologist. They got to know me, and then the opportunity come. So we can go to UK. We can go because of that. So we can further expand. Because why? Because you wrote so many things about those topics, and people recognize you. So sometimes it's your initiation. Sometimes because of your work, people recognize you. So we have to plan our life. And many of you are, nak tengok jap muka ni, yang ke tak ni? Ramai yang ni, tapi ramai yang tak apa yang. Nik Nun yang ke?
Nampak yang.
Contoh, what I meant is that
Yang at heart.
our life in Kulliyyah, we can plan very, very far. I think Wael pun, I think when he went to overseas, most of the time, he never asked me money actually, Wael. So he just go without money implication, without money. Those shows the passion that he had. So, and this is why I hope that all of us plan like this, plan a very long term. When you are in our Kulliyyah, in your profession, in your field, what is your interest? Along the way, there are people who don't understand you. Maybe saya contohnya, if last time as a dean, you approach me, I'm not interested. Like Ailin contohnya, berapa kali dia kena fight for her interest. Kita bergaduh juga. Tapi macam mana Ailin nak sampaikan those point? We have to do that somehow. But then if we do this professionally, inshallah, not emotionally or things like that, if people don't agree, perhaps they don't understand. So make them understand. Inshallah, there will be ways lah. And ultimately, we have to believe that all these things is rezeki by Allah. And kalau kita tak dapat, it means that we just simply don't have that rezeki for now. Perhaps later, there will be Allah give us more opportunity. That's all from me lah.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Prof. I think 2 points I can strike is that one is that the travel grant is meant to be an assistant from the Kulliyyah and some form of the Kulliyyah recognition for your effort to go for staff mobility. So I think already 3:53. Probably one last advice from Prof. Ailin. Prof?
Oh, okay.
Or conclusion, yeah.
Yeah, I would probably say I just quickly on that. Develop your passion. I mean, I do see some young ones, in the knee and young at heart, and not just young at heart, even old. I want to say old F like me, but okay, we're in an international Islamic university platform. Even old people like me, we can still learn and cultivate this, macam yang kata tadi, passion for doing things. And it's not too late. Nothing is too late. Katalah kalau betul it's going to be extended to 65. Then we have a solid 10 years lagi, people who's my age. So things, collaborative relationships can still be developed. Your passions and it can still be developed. And I like what Jamal cakap tadi. Research grants are just a means to push and help float our interest. So find your interest. And then ataupun it doesn't even have to be your interest. Macam si Jamal tadi kata, Prof Jamal kata by accident. Tapi open your eyes to all these opportunities. Selalu bila people hulur their hand and say, would you like to work with this and that? Say, yeah, why not? Join us. And for that matter also, please, whatever macam orang kata collaborative work or anything you think that you can do with ISEN, please just drop by and then we'll see how we can work together. And join our mobility program. So that's all, Dr. Adil.
All right, thank you, Prof. Ailin, from your last wisdom word. So I think there's one last question from Dr. Fatin. So the travel grant is not as a research gift for Myra because the money doesn't go into your account through the RMC or what, because it is on a reimbursement basis. So you claim after you go for your conferences. Okay. So I think with that, we would like to extend our gratitude to Prof. Ailin for a wonderful and enlightening talk on the staff mobility. Hopefully, inshallah, we have more and more staff going for staff mobility to pursue their niche research interests. So with that, we close our session with the recitation of Tasbih Kifarah and Surah Al-Nas. Thank you and Assalamualaikum.